This is strange not having headphones on. And I don't think, obviously no one's going to be here right away because NPR's finishing their year in review and holiday show.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of, the cool kids are having their party and now we're trying to start our own. And it's not the cool kids.
We're just the kids, man. Just having a time.
This is episode 145 of the Herpeticulture podcast. This is our last show of 2021, and it is brought to you by Steve Snakeshuary and his Venom Hot Sauce. Hey, look. Y'all are the cool kids, though, hey. Clayton said. Thank you, Clayton.
Oh, these cool kids.
I got you a present.
Oh,
because it's
my buddy. What a guy.
Because it's the last show. I'm NPR may be done now. I don't know. That sounded like they were about to wrap up. So I was like, man, we really picked the day to do this.
Yeah. They did a live show?
Yeah, they did. Nice. And I watched most of it. Almost all of it, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Do you need me to cut yours?
I'm a big boy.
Here.
Send me
use that one. The perfect cut.
I gotta move that.
Yeah, so this show is brought to you by Steve Snakeshuary and his Venom Hot Sauce. Give him a like and a follow. Grab some hot sauce for yourself. He does good stuff. It's all helping him do his thing as far as rehabilitation, rescue, removal, relocation, public outreach, all that good stuff. So
all
it's just
good stuff.
Yeah, it's just us this week. We're matching, and we didn't even do it on purpose, which I thought was hilarious.
It's awesome, though.
Like Jake walked in the door and I was like, we match twinsies.
It's just how we roll, you know. Banging at 9 o'clock at night, boy. There it is.
I'm up until like midnight on Thursdays because I'm putting this up and all that good stuff. So
I've been up till midnight several days.
Oh, you week. Have? Is that Hector? Nice. Little bit, but so is our cat. So.
Oh, don't put it more on me, boy. Ew.
I'm trying not to.
Ew.
I'm trying to even it out. Yeah, last show of 2021. Snakes and Stogies. On Monday was the last Snakes and Stogies of the year, so this should be it, unless Bill has something cooking for Lizard Brain Radio. And watching the NPR show, it's like I'm watching it and going like, why don't we just all combine into one gigantic
holiday episode
thing? Because now I guess Phil's going to be doing a podcast with someone else. I don't know if it was Nipper, something gecko related. So there's like now crossover where Phil is now the bridge between the two. It's like an H and Phil's the middle. You know?
So, what between what?
Is Jake sitting above you to counter the height difference? Yes, this is a very low sitting chair, though.
Oh, wait, no, I am taller than you in this chair.
A little bit,
but it's also the camera angle.
But we should all let's just combine into one gigantic thing.
A big old show.
Bill does have a show on the 26th, so that will be up. But as far as like stuff from myself and Jake and Phil, we'd like to take the last half of December off just because people are busy. So getting guests is kind of tough and everyone's got something going on. I know I end up having like 3 Christmases because we have the one here. You know, my wife's mom, her dad and stepmom, my parents.
Your birthday's also like Christmas Eve.
Yeah, a lot going on. So it just works out. And it's kind of nice. I don't know about you, but I like having that break.
Yeah, it's nice to get a break, especially because this year work gave me off that Thursday too for Christmas. Because it's on Saturday this year. So that's real good. I'm just going to catch up on stuff and, you know, it's going to be good.
So it's just, I think it's also nice to have that sort of mental break to where it's like you feel refreshed and ready come January. Yeah. But then it's also like a very physical break to where like each year sort of feels different.
Yeah.
Which remind me tonight after we're done, we need to record new intro stuff.
Oh,
it'll take like 2 seconds.
Dude, we say that every time. Every time we do it, we're like, we should do it again. Do it again. Try it again.
You need a lighter?
I mean,
is that what you're waiting on?
I was waiting for you to light your cigar.
Oh, I'm about to light mine.
Well, go ahead, light yours, and
I got a lighter over here.
Well, you just give me.
I got a garage with multiple lighters. You think I'm just gonna have one?
No,
this is amateur hour.
Not.
Lord. So, as we all know, you had a rather chaotic 2021. But you also had a lot happen, like in terms of the collection and stuff. So how, on a scale of 1 to 10, where does your 2021 lie?
Like on like
1 being, please let me redo it, this sucks. 10 being, it doesn't get any better than this.
That's a hard question. I would say about a 5.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna give it right in the middle because it was real rocky at the beginning, then super rocky in the middle, and less rocky towards the end, but still very, very busy right now, and things are kind of crazy, and I'm very tired all the time, so
very much looking forward to things chilling out some.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's also a lot better now. There are a lot of very good things going for me right now, and that I'm super excited about, and things are just on the verge of calming down in the next couple weeks. So
I feel like you are on the other side of that.
Yeah,
that
I'm
hill,
almost over the hill. It'll be good. It'll be fun. And yeah, once we get there, 2022, watch out.
We say that every year too.
No, but this year it's real. Okay, like it's for real this year.
We're gonna take it from a 5 to a 6 to a light to decent 6.
Nah, man. I'm shooting for like a solid like 7.5. No, I'm just kidding. I'm shooting for 10, man. Going for a good year. I want 2022 to be real good. It will be.
As far as collection goes.
Oh, still on me. Oh boy. As far as collection goes, like
made a lot of changes.
Yeah, a lot of changes.
Oddly enough, that also seems like one that sort of parallels with the personal life one of like it started out kind of rough, but then it evened.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, the collection has changed severely. I mean, unfortunately, through the last 2 years or so, as far as the carpets goes, I've lost quite a few. So that on that part, I have downsized. I haven't sold many carpets. I haven't sold any carpets the last 2 years or so. But my collection has slimmed.
I don't think it's slimmed at all.
Oh no, on the carpet front. On the carpet front, it slimmed on that front. But I expanded severely on colubrids. And when I say severely, I doubled my collection and numbers in rat snakes and water snakes and pituophis. So that's.
And is that going into next year? What are the plans? I mean, are you going to continue to kind of keep things where they're at in terms of what?
I'm kind of like I kind of just got everything at once because of space reasons. Like I kind of got everything at one time to do like a like kind of a mass quarantine away from everything else kind of deal. And so I'm at a point now that I'm very happy with like the variety I have. I don't have I have a lot of just single pairs of a lot of different stuff, and I really enjoyed it. I have a few extras of a few things, and realistically, I think next year the only plan I'm doing a trade still at some point soon, and then next year the only things I think there's 1 or 2 rat snake localities that I'm looking to add still, and I'll be at kind of a set closed collection point type deal, like not really adding anything else unless it's very specific from a very specific person type deal. So that's what I'm shooting for 2022 is getting my clothes collection closed and just kind of raising everything up. Got everything as babies, which I'm real happy about, and most everything is babies. I got a few opportunities, or I got one opportunity to get a pair of adults, or mostly adults, young adults. So, but yeah, then breeding plans in 2022. I've got some colubrids lined up for next year. I won't be producing anything in 2022. It's not looking like I might put some carpets together. We'll see. But definitely have breeding plans for 2022. I'll have a couple colubrid pairings, possibly a rat snake pairing, definitely 2 Pituophis pairings that I'm real excited about. And then definitely carpets. Definitely got to get back to carpets. And yeah.
What was the biggest takeaway from 2021 with all the Nido stuff? Like, what did you learn coming out of that? Like, what was your biggest sort of, if there was a single lesson to be had from that whole ordeal?
Quarantine heavily. Do not take it lightly at all. That would be my biggest suggestion. I quarantine to an extent. Everybody has, Justin understands you have limited space at times, and I did my best to quarantine how I could in the space that I had.
Gotta work with what you got.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where I could have done better. So I learned. It's unfortunate, but I honestly think, and that's the thing is, like, I honestly think I had it before it was present. I think I had it for a solid 2 years. I would bet, so it is what it is. Like I said, I still stand by. I think I'm a better keeper from it, and I'm still dealing with it. It's unfortunate, but I'm still dealing with it. But again, the carpets have become kind of a closed thing to see where everything is at. And then as adults come, I'm testing things as I see problems, and they're farther not really happening anymore. So it's looking good. Haven't had anything come back super recent that was positive. So
as you went, did you find yourself being more relieved or more stressed by the whole thing? Like, I know, like, there's the initial thing of oh no, I have something tested positive, and then the more you dig, the more you find more positive animals. Did the thing feel like it was easier to deal with mentally as you were going? No,
it never got easier. Because normally, for me, animals that were symptomatic, got tested, and if they tested positive, then because they were symptomatic, I deemed it best to, take them out of my my collection. And that never got easier because these are animals that I've had for several years now, and even when you have so many, it's at least for me, I still have an attachment to all my animals, to an extent, and it sucks. Never got easier doing that, and I get the shakes every time I go to open a test.
Oh, I'm sure.
Every time I see that email,
I can see being stressful.
I look at the email and I immediately just fuck, and I don't know. So
Bill asked, do you say that based on older acquisitions kind of bouncing back from the first bad event?
Say it again.
Do you say that based on older acquisitions kind of bouncing back from the first bad event?
I don't really know. What do you mean by that, to be honest?
Elaborate, Bill.
Yeah,
We're actually doing this live. Just for anybody that's listening to this. When you said 2 years, you said.
What do you mean?
Like when you were talking about, you thought you were sure that it would have been around for 2 years prior.
Oh, when I think it's been around 2 years prior, it was because all my carpets were kept together, and essentially it was a stress factor that brought out the nidovirus, and I think it's been there at least 2 years because the animal, my kind of ground zero animal, the first one that showed signs and tested positive. Yeah, patient zero, you could say. I had raised that animal from a neonate, and he was, a subadult at 3 years old or older, I believe. And I did have stuff kind of come and go between him. I actually, I've had quite a few. I had a lot of stuff go between raising him up, but being that all the snakes were under the similar conditions, and he was the one that started to show signs, I don't know. It just leads me, and I hadn't gotten snakes. When he tested positive, I hadn't had anything in my collection for at least a year.
Gentamicin at the Shell Point house? No.
Different snakes. I didn't know I had nido. Oh wait, now I had that animal at that house, but those weren't. He didn't have respiratory problems at that house. Gotcha. No.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're kind of in a much better position with all that.
Yeah, getting on the other side of it, So, but yeah.
Should we do, and I can get your input, but then anyone who's in the chat as well, should we do THP live in 2022? Because it's pretty much the same. We're using the same program. I don't know,
man.
I'm okay. What do you think?
I don't know why I always get more if you haven't noticed, I'm stuttering a little bit more, and that's because it's live. I don't know why being live just makes me just slightly just more on edge. I don't know. But I don't mind it. It was just it would take getting used to. I don't mind doing it at all. Yeah, it would just take a little getting used to. Eventually, I wouldn't even realize it was happening. But
I don't know. That's something I was thinking about. It seems Billy Jenkins says he finds it easier to tune in. A little more interaction. Tim Van Eck said, I agree on all those fronts. Steve's here. He said, as long as I can watch it later. He said he can't always catch live, which I get. He's got a pretty weird schedule.
And I guess we, if we keep up with the chat, we can also, open questions for guests and stuff, make that a thing. And, as we're doing the show, people, and if we, network it beforehand, people can make sure to be on to ask certain questions, and it might be
I don't know.
Could be a good thing.
Constantly thinking of ways to sort of make things better,
shake it up,
make all those shows better. Any of them. I know a lot of people have asked about ChondroCast. That does need to happen. Bill said it could limit guests. He's had some folks nervous about live and would accept just an interview. So that's fine. It can be
if we can ask them, do you mind doing live? And if they say I'd really rather not, then okay, no live episode.
I don't know. We'll kind of play it by ear.
Yeah, I think that would be the best way to do it. If they don't mind doing live, we'll do live. And if
more corn stars, Chris said. You're biased.
More corn stars.
Live herping and meteor watching with Phil.
Okay, so
have you seen any of those?
No, I have not.
When Phil goes herping and we do he does it live, it is a disaster. Miguel said, I like the live shows because it feels like I have friends.
No, that's actually something I want. Oh shit. It's fine. Didn't do anything.
It's like a super cheap cord.
Okay, cool. No, that's actually something I want to do in 2022 is do a lot of recording on my herp trips. I have 2 trips. Yeah, I have 2 trips planned out, but all my local.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do. Thanks I'm planning out. I have one planned. I have one other planning out. More recent. But I want to start doing more videos of my road cruises and all my WMA.
We have to get out to that road we were scoping out in Jasper.
Dude, I gotta take you to the dirt road I found in the middle of the night out there, dude. I got so sketched out. I want to go out there during the day because I went out there at night. It was pitch black and it was raining. There was just one house in like the middle of a field with like a light on upstairs, and I was like, nope, not doing that. Like it was just down those dirt roads, trees, and it was like,
when like the Okatee Hunt Club for people who don't know, which is where like the famous Jasper County corns come from. It's in the middle of nowhere. Well, like our version of middle of nowhere. It's like not like West Texas middle of nowhere, because that's a whole nother level of like might as well be on the moon kind of thing. But for us, it is very rural. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's there's nothing out there really. So I'm anxious to get out there. I know we had talked about doing it a couple months ago, but because of work and stuff, it just couldn't make it happen. You did go, and I went jealous, but I do want to go cruise out there. And you know what I realized?
I didn't go during the right time of year though. It was kind of I missed a lot of good cruising because I picked up a second job. To be honest, and I'm very upset about it.
We also have the luxury of my parents' golf cart. We can road cruise my parents' neighborhood and the adjacent neighborhood via golf cart at night.
Like night.
Yeah, like night herping, boy.
Yeah, dude.
If that is one thing it took away from Texas was herping at night. Isn't all that scary?
Yeah, if you're with somebody and got a flashlight and stuff, like
I ain't gonna go walking around the woods because it's pitch black. At my parents' house, there's no street lights, nothing. Like out there, unless it's a full moon, is dark.
That's also why I like roads, dude. Honestly, like I get a little skeeved because I did a lot of road cruising by myself, and there were a couple of times where like I just got out the truck to look for something, and I just like kind of like looked around. I was like, you know, like, all right, I'm out of here, you know, like, and plus it doesn't help that the road I cruise a lot has a graveyard on it that I pass.
Yeah, that might have
every time.
Something to do with it.
Yeah, I don't know why, dude. It's just like it shakes my bones every time I drive by.
If you haven't learned already, homie, don't fuck with ghosts, man. I don't even know if I believe in ghosts.
Piss off, ghosts.
But they like the concept of it freaks me out. It's just like sharks. It's the concept of like they can see you, but you can't see them. And I don't know, like Herb in Texas, when we were in Big Bend at night and stuff until 1 a.m. Like even when I was 150 yards, 100 yards from the other guys, like I was up looking around these little sort of cliffy areas, trying to find really anything. They were like within earshot, but still pretty far off. And I was just hanging out. I ended up sort of walking around by myself for a bit, and it was surprisingly peaceful.
Yeah.
And it was dark, but I don't know. I was just,
was it like more? It was more open though, wasn't it?
Not.
You weren't in the woods,
right? But
it's different being in the woods, man. It's I can do like an open field type deal, like a little better, but the woods will close in on you in the dark, man, real quick.
Yeah, I mean it was all good until Julian almost stepped on that Aatrox, and then it's like, oh well, we should probably be a little smarter.
Yep,
that could have been really bad. I mean, when we say like we were literally a minimum of an hour away from a hospital or something, that was legit. Like if someone had been bit, that would have been really, really bad.
It's not fun.
Oh yeah,
I do know all too well.
The woods are creepy. Our Texas rock cuts are calming. They are kind of like when we were doing the cuts, it was like windy, but it was just, I don't know, man. It was calming. It was kind of like, maybe it was just because I was also exhausted. Time zone difference, all that stuff. And I was just like looking at millipedes.
Looking at millipedes. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, that was definitely a highlight of the year for me, was going out with the guys and doing that.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I would love to get out there again. It was such a cool place.
What's your 2021, man? Like 1 to 10 plans?
I'm gonna say it was a light to decent 8.
Good.
I don't know. I mean, I really I say that, and it wasn't because the other 2 of 10 was like bad or anything like that. It's just it was fairly uneventful. I mean, I hatched those corns, I hatched the beards. another year of the magazine. So it was pretty much business as usual, but it was decent. I didn't deal with the stuff you dealt with on multiple levels, but can't complain. It was decent. I'm anxious for the 2022 season. I'm gonna start warming stuff up next month, and getting ready to sort of storm the beaches as far as colubrids go, because as everybody I'm sure is aware that's been listening to the show, I've gone heavy into rat snakes and corns and stuff, and that wasn't like an unconscious choice, but it wasn't a conscious choice either. It was just one of those things where like I had missed corns, and I had the ones I had, but I wanted to get sort of back into morphs, and you all know the deal there. And so I've got a bunch of corns that are growing up. So in the next couple of years, I got some pretty exciting stuff there. But what I have currently that I'm planning to pair is going to be pretty good. Bairds, the Bairds front. We're only on phase 2.
Only on
the Bairds front, dude. Next
year. How many phases are there?
At least 3.
At least 3.
So the first phase was
may
last clutch this year.
Okay,
second phase
1
is what I'm cooling currently. So that's going to be 2 more pairs. Third phase is going to be at least.
You got 2 years.
At least 4 pairs.
You got 2 years.
No, because you don't even know all the other like stuff that I have that's like 2 years.
Yeah, but the Annery project is
that's like phase 10. We're literally just on 2. Okay?
That's why you said at least 3. So I'm looking like, I thought that was like the last phase. Like
hypoanery, that's like phase 12.
Oh, hypoanery, that's way. Yeah, dude,
that's we're a very long ways away from that.
Oh, yeah, I forget you have hypos, dude. Those. Oh, I want hypo.
I have plans there. So, like I said, and this is actually something interesting that I've talked to Harlan about a while back, but like when you're starting a reptile breeding, quote unquote business, be it a hobby or maybe something you're trying to do full time, whatever, it takes a minimum of like 8 to 10 years to fully get to where you're kind of where you want to be. And I've actually found that to be the case because I started PCE in 26 years ago, which is what? Like the first cresteds I had started pairing was 20. I can't count. Help, 2015.
I don't know when you started breeding crested
6 years
geckos?
ago.
Oh, 6 years ago from now was 2015. Yeah.
And it's like I get like looking down the line now, and I can't do math. I'm sorry.
Help me.
Help.
I don't know why you crack me up every time you do that.
Help. The pairing for the Bears and the corns and stuff. Like I'm sort of in that second season where things are ramping up. Third season is where things are really going to start getting into sort of full swing, and then after that, it's going to just sort of grow from there. And that along that timeline, you're still looking at like 10 years or so. So it'll be cool. It's awesome to raise up animals and then be able to breed them, down the road, and you put all the work into it, and it makes the little heads poking out of eggs that much more enjoyable, which that will never get old.
Nope.
I am 2022. I am really gunning for chondros again.
2022 is gonna be nasty, boy.
I'm gunning for breeding chondros again.
Fuck it up.
It's gonna be like this time next year, but
what female are you gonna have?
I'll have at least 2.
Really?
Yes. If things go the way methinks they will go, I should be back to breeding chondros next year. This time next year. I think I'm on the trajectory, or at least those animals that I have in mind are.
How old will they be?
So they were 2018s.
2018s.
It's the 2 from Luke. The original 2 from Luke.
You want to wait till they're 5? You think 4 will be good enough?
Yeah, because I've been kind of slow growing them, and then I think at the rate that they're going, I think they'll be of size, and I think they'll be of age, and they'll be ready to go. So, and I've got plenty of males. Like males, I'm not even worried about.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no.
So that's definitely sort of a big goal, but
yeah,
Baird's beats Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, the Loma Altas are going together this season as far as Baird's go, which I'm super excited about because you remember when I got those, that was 2019 Carpet Fest, I think.
Yeah.
Was it when we met Dan?
It was the first Carpet Fest.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. God, man, that's so cool that you're breeding stuff that like you got since we've been like friends and that I watched you get as babies, because I was thinking about the Shell Point corn. I remember when you got that thing, a little tiny freaking twig, and now you're cooling it, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's wild.
She's
man.
I'm hoping that this time off she'll kind of lose some grammage. She's a little chunky.
Pretty little chonker. Stop feeding her.
But well, I mean that's the funny thing is like I'm not even really feeding them that much going in. I gave them all a month off food before I put them in cooling, and they weren't getting a ton before that anyways. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm anxious to breed the Ladies Island stuff again. I'm anxious to breed the other. Well, one pair will be Ladies Island again. It won't be the same pair. It'll be the same dam to a different sire, but also from Ladies Island. And then the other pair is going to be that Shell Point female to the sire of the clutch that I had here. So that darker male.
He's another Ladies Island, isn't he?
Yes. Because at some point she's going to go to that Het Sunkiss male that I posted that everyone seems to really like. He's got, I think within another year, he'll be ready to go. So I've thought about putting it on a shirt. Steve said the Baird's Beats Battlestar Galactica thing should be on a shirt. Should be a picture of the snake eating a beet sticking out of a Battlestar Galactica ship. Yeah. It
used to be Baird's Pretzels Battlestar Galactica.
I did. That it was kind of the biggest downer of the year, even though I'm glad that they went to good people. The Brettles being gone. Bill Bradley got my female, and I hope she's bringing him as much joy as she brought me. The male went back to my buddy John, who he came from, who lives down outside of Savannah, and it was a very tough choice. Very tough choice. It was a year of tough choices. It's I think we talked about it on one of the one-on-ones of sometimes you just got to make the decision of, is it part of the bigger picture?
Yeah.
And it's, if I had the space, they wouldn't have gone anywhere. But because, the male especially, that cage was taking up so much space and I wasn't going to put him in something smaller, I had to make that decision. So
yeah, he was a big boy, man.
And there's absolutely nothing saying that down the road I can't just get back into them. It's not like we don't know people that are breeding Brettles.
It's not like we're for good friends with the king of Brettles pythons. It be what it be, man. It never goes away. There's a lot of stuff I've gotten rid of that today I really kick myself for getting rid of.
Like what?
I mean, not from 2021.
I just mean in general.
Just in general. My Chinese Kings. That's probably my biggest regret. The worst part was parting the pair when I moved from Texas.
Because when we met, you only had the male.
I only had the male. I had a pair of babies. We got a pair as babies, but when I moved from Texas, the female stayed, and I took the male, and I just had the lone male.
Young dumb brats.
I don't know. It wasn't
young dumb brats.
I don't know. I wanted at least one of them because I was mad. I couldn't take the pair, so I was like, "Fine, give me the male," because I wanted the male because they get bigger. It's like, yeah, fine.
Well, there's plenty of people with those out there too. I mean, you
wait
another
they have
couple
gotten
years,
very
Billy's
expensive.
gonna have some.
I got my pair for close to half the price as like a single.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
That makes it all more painful.
Yeah, that's why it's like, and that's
again.
Not why. Like, I want everybody to know that's not. I'm not like, oh man, I want to know because they're worth money. Like, no, like I've loved Chinese king rat since I was, since I first got into snakes. Yeah, what? Since I first got into snakes, I've always loved those things. I finally got a pair, but obviously you just heard my story.
We need to get Bang to sponsors for 2022. Shout out to Candy Apple Crisp. It's delicious, dude.
My Homer's in the shop.
I want to guess what I have for dinner. A felony. Seems amazing, dude.
Yeah. I can't believe you drink those things at this late, man. I can't drink a Bang like at all. Last time I had a Bang, like I thought I was gonna be sick. Oh my gosh!
I'm now at the point with them where I'm actually kind of scared to stop drinking them.
Yeah, dude. I don't think I would like you.
Like I'd have to really cut back slowly. It'd almost be like when you're taking a prescription, you have to be weaned off of it.
Yeah, dude.
You can't just stop because
that
your
stuff's
body
like freaking crack, dude. I've cut out caffeine almost entirely.
Oh man,
that was like good accomplishment of mine for 2021. I cut out caffeine. I quit smoking cigarettes.
Do you believe in New Year's resolution?
No, I don't make New Year's resolutions. I just want my year to be better. I have plans for the new year, so I guess like I say I don't believe New Year's resolutions.
It doesn't have to be a new year for you to decide to make a change.
Exactly. Like you can make changes at any point. I just quit smoking cigarettes like 2 months ago. Yeah, like
you've been going strong.
At the end
You've been hitting the douche fruit pretty hard.
Yeah, I have a vape, but you can suck it.
Should have a little cobra in a basket. What do you want to do with the? Well, actually, let's rewind. What was your favorite episode this year of the handful you?
I knew you were going to ask me this. I knew you were going to ask me this, so I already thought about it. It's a toss-up between Dustin Grahn and Roy Arthur. Those were my two top episodes of the few that I did this year.
Oh, we should.
I had a lot.
I feel like we're just completely ripping off NPR by doing pretty much all the same stuff. But
what do you mean?
Ooh.
What are we doing?
I'm going to look up which episode did the best this year. As far as THP goes, I won't count Snakes and Stogies. Your insights.
Can't read
last 12 months.
Huh?
Oh, top tracks are all Snakes and Stogies. Look at that. I don't know. So this was the year that we had Matt Most and Rob Stone on a show together for Colubrid stuff, and our Bears Rat episode with Dusty Rhodes was a one that was a long time coming. You know, getting Alex Englund on was awesome because he doesn't really do podcasts. So, the China episode with Dr. Messenger was freaking awesome. Messenger's a really cool dude. Top episode for THP is Christian Elmer's.
Really?
That's the 4th top track. And then our one-on-one from August. So it was good. It was a good year.
Yeah, Christian. I really enjoyed that Christian Elmer episode as well.
Just in this last year alone, why is everything so jacked up? We've had 117,000 plays on SoundCloud alone.
In what?
Just the year.
Just this year, 117,000.
But it's more because it's not including Spotify and Apple and all that stuff. So
that's SoundCloud alone.
Thousand. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was good. This was the year that we also kind of Phil wanted to make Snakes and Stogies a little more of a serious podcast, like as far as effort and stuff. So, that happened and it's taken off phenomenally. Started Corn Stars, which was awesome. I think I did a ConjureCast episode in the last year. I honestly can't remember. Last one was with Tim, either Ian or Tim Morris. Yeah. So it's been a bit busy year.
Yeah, man, you've had a very busy year. I'm still just, I feel like I'm just getting back into everything still. You, on the other hand, have had a very eventful year.
Got the Ackies.
Yeah.
That was, as far as acquisitions go, I think the Honey Tessera from JT at Silent Hill Reptiles and that Honey Motley from Daytona were two of the big ones, I think, as far as like flagship projects that I'm very much at the top of they're at the top of the list.
Dude,
whenever they're old enough.
The Honey Motley is
getting yellower. Like it's starting to lose that tan and that yellow is starting to come in, starting from the neck and going, yeah. So that'll be really cool. And Did I do an episode with the David and Luke not that long ago? We keep talking about doing one. We were gonna see if Matt Morris wanted to come on and do one.
Isn't that basically all the ConjureCast episodes? Just the three you guys?
No. If you
I feel like it should be though.
It's just so.
Why would I listen to ConjureCast?
Here's the issue with the ConjureCast, so everybody knows.
The issue is it's all about green tree pythons and nobody cares.
That's not the issue. The issue is when you have a singular, super focused show entirely, especially when it's devoted to one group or species. It gets hard to change things up. It gets hard to find something different to talk about because I guess people do it differently, but it's all more or less some variation of the same thing. Like it just gets harder to make sure it's not the same show each week, even though most people are like, I'll still listen to it anyways. I don't know. I definitely it's not that I don't want to do more of them. Because if I had more time, I totally would. The problem is the scheduling of, David, who's up north, Luke, who's out west, whoever we're having on top of work, on top of this, on top of, wife and child, on top of full-time job. Like if I had a little more time, I would totally do them on a more regular basis, but just because of everything else, the other shows, it's just sort of lower on the totem pole. But I do, hopefully in 2022, I would like to try and crank, one out a month or so, or one every other month, something to do a little more regularly. Treat it like
corn stars, man.
That's pretty much what we're doing, and that's that's going to continue. Joe's been busy, so Joe hasn't done it the last 2 episodes because Joe's moving. But Chris does a great job of co-hosting that, and
Chris does everything great.
I'm
literally
Corn
Chris's
Stars
biggest fan.
It's going to continue, and there's we're just sort of really scratching getting into that. There's a ton of people I want to have on there. So there's definitely it's not from a lack of wanting to do it when it comes to all that stuff. There's I want to. It's just a matter of priority, like prioritization as far as where those things fall in importance, and then scheduling and all that stuff. So believe me, I want to do it. More will come out. And what'd Steve say? Maybe you could get your guests to sometimes have their kids on the show too, and you could ask the kids questions on what they think. I know my kids are extremely involved in Steve Snake's Ray. That'd be cool. I still want to do that. Remember that Father's Day episode we talked about doing?
Yeah, get our dads.
Really want to do.
Yeah, that would I do. My dad would eat it up. He would love that, man. I would. I really want to do that, and
we'll have to plan that for 2022.
Yeah,
because like my dad was involved. He wasn't as deep in the hobby as I was, but he's always been into it.
And it'll be good because our dads will come at it from different perspectives. Right. Like your dad dealt with snakes, my dad did not at all. So it'll be 2 good perspectives. Of somebody into snakes having a son getting deep into it versus somebody.
That's something I haven't forgotten about, and I want to do it. But I wanted to sort of do it around Father's Day, I guess, just because 'tis the season.
We should do one for Mother's Day too. All the moms.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know that my mom's gonna be able to offer much any different of insight into it than my dad did. But
oh yeah, I guess that's a good point.
I don't know. But
yeah,
I don't think we're gonna be bringing on any other new shows. Unless you have something in mind.
I said, I've kicked around the idea of more like a lot of the field herping stuff I do. I want to start a video series on a lot of the stuff I do out there because I want to do a lot more of that in springtime, especially with the more traveling I'm doing. Just a lot of field herping stuff. I want to start a little video series on that, but that's about. And if I could do it regularly, I would. So
Phil's doing Venom Exchange Radio with Nipper. That's not really a THN thing or an NPR thing. They just wanted to have their little nerd session and do a venomous show. That's like completely their own. I told Phil, if you want me to include it in the stream, that'd be cool. Pipes and Pokies.
Pipes and Pokies.
Yeah, it'd be like a tarantula podcast.
Oh,
or invert podcast, rather, which I would do, but I can't. If you would talk to me a year ago, it would have been like, hell yeah, man.
Let's do it.
Now it's like, I want to.
Where are you going to squeeze that in?
Yeah.
Get a regular job. Then
now,
maybe.
I will say, if I were single and an eligible bachelor, I'd be recording every freaking night. Get off work, do a show. But I'm not. I would. If I was single and had, a place of my own, I'd be recording every night, and I'd make every podcast to the point to where people would be tired of hearing my voice and seeing my face, which they may already be.
A goal of mine this year also is to get like a setup like this for on the days that, like, on a day that you couldn't do THP, that I could cover.
And you could start your own Papayans.
Yeah.
The Papayan Show.
The Papayan Podcast. That's so old, man. Everybody forgot about that since you started letting snakes out.
You do have a THN person who does the pipes with a kid who does the pokey relatives. You do. Bill does.
And
a kid who does the shelled creatures. That too. Colonians. Oh, Miguel's male regalis is slowly dying. That's a bummer. Once they get penultimate, it is their time. So I have the surprise thing that I had told you.
Oh man, I forgot all about this. Oh, I'm scared.
So I downloaded the Poddex app. So I'm going to give you a choice. Interview, icebreakers, hustle, dare, philosophy, year in review 2021, WTF.
What?
Hold on. You have to pick one. This or that. Would you rather? And that's sort of the only relevant ones. WTF?
WTF.
No.
I love how we were both.
So this just has random questions that pop up from that deck. Have you ever had a weird Uber experience?
A weird Uber experience?
I've never been in an Uber.
I've had
or a Lyft.
It was kind of weird. So my only Uber experience, I was in the hospital in Tallahassee, Florida. I was on a herping trip. I know I've told the story before. I was on a herping trip and I had a kidney stone, wanting to work its way out during the herping trip. So I had my buddies drop me off at the hospital, and I got that taken care of. Several hours later, I walked out of the hospital very off my mind, off painkillers.
Feeling good.
Feeling right. Couldn't really walk right, but it was what it was. Luckily, Walgreens right across the street. So I walked across the street to get more pain meds from Walgreens that I was just prescribed. And I literally downloaded Uber right then and there. I was originally just going to walk to my hotel, but I realized how messed up I was. And it was like 5 miles away.
Been kidnapped, dude.
Yeah, no, it was like 5 miles away. It was like in middle of Tallahassee. I'm like, nah. So I downloaded Uber, figured out how to use that. Very difficult to figure out in the heat of the moment.
Like, create an account and everything.
Yeah,
and, like, have a card attached to it, so you can't just.
I had to do all that. Yeah. Finally figured it out. Got an Uber, and this guy came, and he was fairly nice, and he was just like, "Yeah, what's going on?" So I just got out of the hospital, kidney stone. And he's like, "Oh, okay."
Kidney stones.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I mean, I had a hospital band on and stuff. Like, it was very obvious that I just got out of the hospital. So I think that was more of a weird Uber experience for him than me. But that was my only Uber experience, which was interesting.
What Guinness World Record do you think you could break in the future?
I have no earthly idea, to be honest. The Biggest Loser? I don't know. What about you? Do you have one in mind?
Most cigars smoked.
Yeah.
By a human being in a given year. What's the sexiest and least sexy name? Lanolin.
Lanolin.
Largest toenail clipping collection.
Oh, God.
I don't trim my toenails all that often.
So what was the question again?
What is the sexiest and least sexy name?
Are we male or female?
I would assume female, but I mean,
I don't know. There's lame male and female.
I think Phil Wolf. It's a pretty damn sexy name.
And Justin Smith's pretty
generic
unsexy.
And extremely Caucasian.
Yeah. My first name's very basic. My last name's kind of weird, but
I think Martha might be the least sexy name.
Martha, or I had another one, Marjorie, or whatever. Marge. Yeah. What about the sexiest?
I don't
really know, to be honest.
Celeste. Pretty much any of them would be like stripper names or something. So
I don't even know, to be honest.
Megan. I don't know.
Jesus.
Most important question: which body part do you wish you could detach, and why? You're kind of limited on your options there.
I mean, I would take off my pinky toe, and because it wouldn't affect me at all. It would probably be the one thing that wouldn't affect me. I'm sure you have some weird growth on you somewhere that you could
don't
take
thank
off.
you. I don't know.
Dude, come on, pinky toe, man. That's
obvious. Like a cop out, though.
What do you mean it's a cop out? It's
elbow.
Smart.
You can't remove an elbow.
It said
that's removing your arm.
Yeah, if you remove your elbow, you're just taking off your arm right there, and like that's terrible.
Let's go ahead and say man boobs.
What?
I could detach those.
It's a body part.
I mean, if it sticks out and it's an extremity, these seem pretty extreme. No, go back.
Go back.
It was describe your sense of humor in one word.
Describe.
I know mine is going to be dumb. Oh, nose. That's a good one. I completely forgot about like facial. An ear.
Why would you take off your nose?
Be like Van Gogh. I still got the hole. I can still hear, right?
Yeah, dude, you would look
like
so
the dude
weird.
In Wild West with the little megaphone thing.
You would look so weird, though. If you didn't have a nose, I definitely like.
Yeah, I didn't say a nose. That's what Billy Jenkins said. But Billy Jenkins kind of a weird.
Dude, don't take off your nose, dude.
I take off an ear.
What are you doing?
Evander Holyfield.
I take off like a piece of an ear, maybe. I don't know about a whole ear, though. I'm still going with pinky toe, man. I don't know why nobody else thinks that's a good idea. If you have to take off a body part, that's like the smartest body part to take off.
What set of items could you buy that would make the cashier the most uncomfortable?
What?
What set of items could you buy that would make the cashier the most uncomfortable?
I'm not going to say what I was.
Baby oil.
That's it. Just baby oil.
Baby oil, sweet potatoes, a cigar torch, and a bang. Sweet potatoes are for the roaches. Bang
for the roaches. Oh.
What do you got?
I'm trying.
Think harder.
I don't know, man. I'm not good at this.
All right.
I'm not.
You've made this sufficiently awkward.
So move on. Okay, gloves, olive oil, and a cucumber.
Do we want to know why? What's the cucumber for? A salad?
Just ask the next question, man.
All right.
I don't know what the cucumber's for. You just ask for weird things. I don't know. Would I rather? Oh,
I'm looking. Gotta find something good. Would you rather always have an itch you can't scratch or a thirst you can't quench?
Oh my god,
that's a tough one.
That's really.
I mean, ideally you just scratch until your skin came off.
Yeah.
Then it wouldn't itch anymore.
No, then you just have a gaping hole that burned.
It's fine.
And it would still probably
take
itch.
it.
I'd take a thirst you can't quench.
I don't know, man. You ever been like super thirsty?
Yeah,
it's
all the
really
time.
Not fun.
All the time.
Yeah. What would you do with $1 million, Jake? Oh wait, no, screw that. That's a stupid one.
That's like.
Have you ever cried from watching a TV show or a movie?
Yes.
Which one? Ones.
Oh God, there was one a long time ago. What was it? It was called Bridge to Terabithia. I think that was a movie. It was like a little girl like died in a ditch or something. She drowned. I remember watching it in theaters. I was really young. It was like when it first came out. I cried in that movie.
Mine's really bad.
I'm pretty sure I cried in an episode of How I Met Your Mother somewhere.
Dude, man, I watched that whole season and then the last end of it, I was like, are you kidding me?
Don't mess with me, man. Just don't.
I was like, that got so dark so quick.
Just don't.
Not going to spoil it for anybody. If you haven't watched it, though, it's been out for like 10 freaking years. Come on.
If you haven't watched it, get with the freaking program.
So mine.
You know who you are.
Okay. When I was a kid, there was the Shia LaBeouf movie where he played a special needs kid. I think it was True Confessions or something, like TRU. And so it was about this girl who had a brother who was special needs. And he got lost in the library.
Oh.
And for whatever reason, as a kid, it was like the saddest thing.
Jeez.
And for whatever reason, I still remember that. And I'm like, because he was like freaking out because he was like lost and couldn't find his sister.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. It's pretty lame.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's lame. But...
Here we go. If you could choose a way to die, what would it be? I can tell you what it wouldn't be.
Falling from something really high. Plane crash.
Pretty much anything that's fast as possible.
This is how you would not want to die?
No, that's how I would.
Oh, going fast.
No, just make it quick.
Oh. Well, no, you have to be like, I don't know. If I was going to die, I mean, I would almost want to die in a really badass way. But I also want to die like kind of quick.
I'll take the quick over the badass any day.
If I die young, I want it to be badass. If I die old, just make it quick.
Drive fast, leave a sexy corpse.
I almost died on my motorcycle, and I would not have left
in my driveway that one time.
Dude, shut up! Shut your freaking mouth, man! Don't even talk about it.
Can I? I
want
to so bad,
dude. We've already talked about this. Everybody knows the story. I tipped my bike over at Justin's driveway, and he sat there and watched me from his freaking house. His roommate actually came out and offered to help. Look, you had a weird dip in your driveway. I was trying to back up. I'm short as it is. All right. I tipped it over. What do you want from me? Moving on.
Leaving the house and he's backing up on his bike. And for whatever reason, he
had a hump and I couldn't back over it.
I don't know exactly
my
what
feet.
happened.
I was too short. I was like, what's the when you're like in a seat and you can't touch the ground. It was like that. And
he laid it down, but he was still on it, and so like he had to like just hop off.
Yeah, I like hopped off, and so because you have to, or else it's gonna fall on you, and it's hot. Gee whiz, man! You don't even know. You don't even know, dude.
But
you have a
He
motorcycle.
was, like,
you have to hop
to get
on.
it picked up, and he's got his helmet on, and I'm like watching from the window in the dining room, just cracking up.
Dude, that bike literally weighed so much more than I did. Shut up. I got it up, didn't I? Did I not? With nobody's help.
Dying.
With nobody's help. I was so mad when I figured out that you watched me. It's like, that's embarrassing. That was one of the only times I dropped that bike. I laid it down one time, pulling into my driveway way too fast. I was in a rush. But that was like one of the only times I just straight up dropped it.
Do you have any irrational fears? And we'll make this herp specific.
Herp specific?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, I have a thing about Tokays and Brooks Kings where I want nothing to do with them.
Like you have a fear of them, though?
Not really a fear, but like centipedes too.
Oh yeah, we're
talking messing with any
arachnids. Yeah, no, you can centipedes, stuff like that. No, sir. It's a hard no. Hard no for me.
We won't ask the question about fetishes.
Boo. I'm scared.
Have you ever had a crush on your best friend's mom or someone generally much older than you? Helen Mirren.
I never a best friend's mom. Definitely when I was younger, definitely had a crush on my best friend's like older sister. But not mom.
I think there's questions about ghosts.
Oh boy.
Do you think ghost hunting has more to do with science or spirituality? Nobody likes tokays, Billy. Billy's like, no, I like tokays.
I love how you asked that question. Nobody likes tokays. There's a lot of people like tokays, man. Why you gotta hit on tokays? I still think to this day one of the funniest questions we've ever been asked. Would you rather fight 100 Tokay-sized Komodo dragons or one Komodo-sized Tokay? Came from Casey Cannon. That was hilarious.
Would you go hunting for Bigfoot, aka Owen McIntyre?
I was about to say I already found you.
Do you think he's real?
Bigfoot? Yeah. I believe there could be something out there that has not been discovered. That's about it. Don't necessarily believe in Bigfoot. But I believe that we haven't seen everything on this continent. So, be that as it will.
Have you ever used a Ouija board?
Nope.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Once again, I don't know if I even believe in that stuff.
No.
But I ain't willing to find out. I don't even care if it's made by Hasbro or Mattel.
I don't care if it's made by
Disney. It could be made
Disney.
out of Legos. That shit ain't coming in my house.
Hell no. I don't care if Walt Disney made it himself. You can get it out of my face.
It might be a gateway. I don't want to know. Everything that I've seen in movies has told me it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah. Every horror movie that's had a Ouija board in it went horribly wrong. That's all I'm saying.
If you were to come back as a ghost, where would you haunt?
definitely you.
Yeah.
Definitely you. God, I would mess with you so
Dude.
much, dude. Oh God.
You know what would suck is like
the
I'd even
worst
move and
ghost.
find a new house, and you'd still probably follow us.
Yeah. I would follow you everywhere, boy.
Have you ever had a paranormal experience?
Yeah.
I haven't either. It's one of those things where I wonder if you like truly have to believe for it to be a thing.
Where would you hunt? Yeah, you got. Never mind. Where would you hunt?
Chili's. Well, actually, that might even be horrible because then I'll just be sitting there looking at the chicken crispers day in and day out for eternity and never actually get any.
You'd be the greasiest ghost forever. Yeah, you'd look at those chicken crispers and not be able to just do nothing about it.
Do you think animals are more sensitive to the paranormal?
If the paranormal exists, yes. Because animals are more sensitive to everything.
Paranormal investigators.
Why are you asking ghost questions?
I don't know. It's just interesting.
What is this?
What's okay? So,
oh Lord.
Any species in particular that you would like to get in the new year? You may not get them. You might get them.
Barons.
Like if
Barons racers, I would love
rhinos. Can we please admit that rhino rat snakes are the better of the two rhinos?
I haven't kept either, so I cannot say. But if there was a Barons and a rhino in front of me and they said you can have one, I would probably take the Barons.
Why?
Huh?
For what reason?
They are a little bit more attractive to me for some reason. And
hey, he's dumb.
From what I've heard about them, they'd fit in pretty well, I think.
What else? Something for another female for Spurge?
No, absolutely not.
I'm not gonna lie.
I would actually like to find Spurge, like a first snake owner home or something.
When Elijah Day posted those pieds in the group the other day, I was like, it would be fun to have a pair of pieds or pastels.
I would
try it out because everyone talks so much smack about ball pythons. I at least want to put my money where my mouth is and breed them and see what it's all about.
I would do a Mojave pied project. I really like Mojave stuff.
I like the bamboo stuff. I don't know what makes a bamboo, but it looks cool.
If I did anything with ball pythons, it would probably be Mojave or pied. Anything. Because I do like the Mojave stuff. Maybe that is what I'll do. I'll get a Mojave to pair to Spurge.
Aren't you going to be able to breed bull snakes next year? Are the forks still too small?
No, they'll be rock and rolling next year. I plan to breed pine snakes and gopher snakes next year.
2022.
2022.
Oh, okay.
Not produce. Breed.
What?
I'll pair them up next year. Next winter. Or I'll cool them next winter. Yeah. Like, no. What? Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm thinking I'm still on carpet brain. Yeah. 2022, I'll cool colubrids. But
yeah,
I won't produce any.
So the 2023, the Wild Rose Pass sub box should be ready to go. I think that'll be kind of interesting. I don't know. At some point, I'd like to get some Northern Pines. I think I'm going to wait until Chris produces some and then try and get some from him. But I have that one right now, the Southern, which apparently there's some new classification taxonomy stuff coming out on pines. I don't know if it's been released yet or not, but it sounds like it's got some pretty serious changes to it. So, black pastel from Wyman, Bill said. That would be pretty dope.
Yeah, the black pastels are nice, but I'm still a little biased to the Mojave stuff. Although I would go through Wyman. If I get a ball python, I'm getting it from Wyman. he sent me. I told him I like Mojave stuff, and he sent me 2 pictures. He's like, "Which flavor?" And it was like really dark one. And it was like a really light one. I was like, "Ooh, man, you're tickling me. Stop."
Yeah. Any projects that you have that aren't like complete? So like you have like a single male or a single female of, and you would like to.
Oh, my Mexican pine. I have a lone Mexican pine male. I now have I have a couple lone. I have one lone corn snake and a lone rat snake that I need.
What rat snake?
The big yellow I got from Billy.
Oh, yeah.
But they're both. I have a Hernando corn or Hernando yellow that are loans, and that's one of my plans this year is go to Florida in the springtime and hit Hernando County, see if I can.
Oh, really?
Find some goodies.
I was thinking about that this morning actually when I was walking the dog. Like, what would a yellow rat corn hybrid look like if you found one around here?
Dude, it's kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. I thought about it.
Did you?
They're both from Hernando. It was a corn. It's a corn and a yellow, and I'm like, why not?
I don't think they'd be all that attractive. Really.
No, I don't.
I feel like you'd get
either.
The worst of both
parts. But I can't. Yeah,
like
no, you would. Yeah,
animal.
like, but I couldn't do it. Like, I thought about it for half a second. I was like, what am I doing? Stop it.
It'd be interesting.
I can't. I wouldn't.
I saw some at Daytona. Did you see those Tessera Emery at Weisler's table? Like he had done like a Tessera corn to a Emery. It actually looked pretty cool, but I was still kind of like, I don't know.
That's because it was a Tessera.
True. But
I
still thought it was interesting.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Like I said, I don't judge people for hybrids.
I need to start saving for Daytona now.
Dude, I have too much stuff to save for. So that's another big thing I'm planning in 2022 is hopefully going to Arizona.
Oh, really?
Yes.
With who?
I hope. You know what, man? I'm not gonna. I'm just
gonna hitchhike.
No, I'm not gonna hitchhike.
You're just
planning.
Gonna go. You're just
in
gonna
the
land
early
and
phase.
walk
No,
outside
I'm planning it
like,
out now with
Arizona.
the peeps. All right, I'm just not gonna jinx it yet. All right,
okay.
Gotta work some stuff out. Gotta make sure we can make it happen first.
Well, I can tell you is like when it came to Texas, like have a budget in mind as far as money, and then like double it.
Yeah. Especially because if we go for the period that we want, we might be there for like over a week. So it'll be a hell of a trip.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why we're starting to plan now. So
I'm hoping that I can get a female Madera Canyon Bairds from Chris. So he sent me a male. It's Davis Mountains, but I have the male, and I'm actually thinking I'm going to try and pair that male with the female that I got the first clutch from. That's supposed to be, a Mexican Bairds, but she doesn't really look the part. Like I'm slowly becoming convinced that maybe that pair, like they do have in the not too distant family tree, like they do have Mexican Bairds in them, but I don't think they're full blown Mexicans. So I might pair her to that male just to kind of see what happens, because I'm interested to see what that wild caught blood might do to change things. Like I do want to tinker with Bairds some when it comes to not just locality specific stuff.
So you're not worried about getting backlash from the locality people?
No, because no one's keeping Bairds. No one cares. That's the beauty of it. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to worry about the locality police. I
don't know, man. Locality police are starting to look at Bairds a little bit.
I wish they would.
You better watch out. You better watch out, boy.
No, because
you'll get some flack.
Like I've said, I'm going to do it the Billy Hunt way. So he has his core stuff that he's pairing, but then he'll have like an extra female of something else, an extra male of something else, and he'll pair those. And so he still has the pure locality stuff for the single line stuff. But then he has the Carpondros and the Jag Pondros and the Tiger Peterson crosses, and like, so I'm going to do it that way. But I do want to pair this male to this female to kind of see what happens. And eventually, not this year, but probably the following year, because I just want to do the Loma Altas this year. I do want to I want to play with the hypo gene with the Loma Alta stuff.
Oh,
that's one of the bigger picture sort of ideas that I want to tinker with and play with.
That would be really interesting, dude. I bet you that thing would be pink.
I'd be more going for like a white.
You think?
I don't know. That's kind of what I'm interested in too,
because that's what I think. Like, because the Loma Altas have like that really that. I know they're really silver, but they also have like that like in between the scales type of orange, and like I'm wondering if that would really like
that would be interesting.
Bring out like some major reds, because I bet you that's what it would be, like almost white with like the red undertones, like where that
like long term with the Bears, sort of what I'm super curious to see. And I mean, this is like not even on a timeline. This is just like between now and the time I die, when I'm breeding Bears, I do want to see what the different sort of localities and phenotypes as far as like Western Bears versus Eastern Bears do with the hypo look. Because I have that bigger male that I got at Daytona the first time too. And he's an adult. He's in cooling right now, but he's not going to get bred this year because I don't plan on breeding him this year. I just cooled him just because. But then I have that other hypo that came from Matt Most, and I feel like that one's going to look considerably different from the other male. It's got a lot more sort of going on pattern-wise and stuff than the other male did at that same size. So I'm super curious to see over time sort of what the sweet spot is. As far as like, is it Loma Altas in hypos that sort of make them look a certain way? Is it, Edwards or Davis or any of that other stuff that sort of tweaks it and makes it look a certain way? And even with like the Mexican stuff, sort of playing around with that too. I know that's kind of blasphemy, but
I think that would be really interesting though, because the Mexicans to me stand out more than anyone. Even though the Loma Altas I think are the most.
The Mexicans you would almost think we're a different species.
Yeah, like the Loma Altas to me are the most like wows, of the Bears, but the Mexicans almost stand out the most, like as far as like looking different. So like I would really wonder what the hypo does to the Mexican Bears. Those, I really like the Mexicans, honestly. I want some of those whenever you.
And then I mean,
are you pairing those this year?
Mexicans? No, that pair should be ready for the 2023 season. I have that original pair that I got this clutch from this year, but like I said, I don't think those are 100% true Mexicans. I think they just have some Mexican blood in them. At least the male does, for sure. He looks much more like the stereotypical sort of male Bears. The female, not so much. But then, we have me and Chris have the Annery project that we went in on together. That's going to be another minimum of 2 years out, but doing the same thing with that and plugging that into some of the other stuff, like plugging that into Loma Altas, just sort of just playing with it, man. I feel like no one's, at least not that I'm aware of. I'm sure someone has done it, but it seems to me that no one's really taken the time to sort of plug things into other things and see sort of what comes out the other side kind of deal. And I don't know, over time we'll find out, and then just continuing, with the local corns, continuing to sort of play with that and see what comes, down the line when I have 4 holdbacks. And
mine are looking nice.
Yeah. Those are things that they started out super dark when they came out of the egg, and then they got a really deep red, and then I had some that kind of started lightening up a little bit, but then they shed and they started getting a deeper red again. Like they've been kind of ping-ponging back and forth.
Mine's in a deep red, just shed, and she's real dark.
So my plan is to pair some clutch mates and some siblings together, and then pairing, one of the males back to the female, just sort of once again playing with that and seeing what happens when you line breed those F1s, to the parents. And it's just fun little projects like that I love, man. There's no pressure. It's just fun to see what happens. And then there's all the morph stuff. Obviously, I've got those Tessera candy cane, or Tessera Het candy cane, Het honey, that pair that I got from Lee Abbott at Daytona. Those will be ready next year. Pretty anxious to see what happens with that. I have that male candy cane tessera. I would like to get a female candy cane for him at some point, but I also have that pair from Mike Kosicki, which aren't Miami, like aren't candy canes, which is, you know, a Miami A-male more or less. Tying them into that and seeing just how white you can get, you know, some of those corns and stuff.
Yeah.
So that with the honeys, and I have that little 5-gene demon from Chris that could get plugged into pretty much anything, and who knows what would happen with it. You know, it's just, I don't know. I'm sure I'll end up getting some more stuff from JT next year. He's got some pretty sweet pairings in the works. Jessica Hare, she's got some Miamis that I've been eyeballing, you know, and either her or what's her name, Carol from Low Belly Reptiles. She's got some of the best Miami stuff around too. So, man, there's just that's why I'm really loving the corns right now, especially because there's just so many directions you can go with something. Like, there are no limits. Like that's the coolest part, and I want to have the same approach that I had with cresteds of like taking things from opposite ends of the color spectrum, and putting them together and seeing what happens. And then, you know, with the honey stuff, especially, you know, I would like to get some more honey, really anything. And I really need, at some point, I need to get just a straight, just sun-kissed male or female to plug into stuff too, because that sun-kissed is sort of the secret sauce with some stuff. It's kind of like Wamina or Biak and Gondros, you know, just really throws a curveball. Same with Cinder. I'd like to get a Cinder of some sort, you know, just some of the base stuff that you can toss into things that sort of blends things a little bit and stirs
Look
things
at
up.
you getting all rehearsed in
I'm
your
trying.
morphs, man. Oh,
I'm trying.
So
you pay attention and you read things and you talk to people, and you know, the hardest part for me is when I hatch stuff, sort of knowing what exactly is going on.
No, because I have one pair, like I have 3 pairs of corns. I have 3 pairs and then like an extra female. That's the Hernando County. But one of my pairs is a morph pair. It's a anery tessera and an anery, but they're het for all types of stuff.
I think those are actually siblings to the one that I have from Chris.
Oh, is it?
I think so, because she's not an anery.
No, she's not.
But she's het for like 5 different things.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. She's het for like motley and stripe and like 2-3 other things.
See, you know
it's
what?
In my notes. I have to look. I wrote it down.
What I've been doing, and I don't know if this is just dumb or not, but I've been doing like keeping track of the lineage of corns like I have been the chondros. I don't know if that's overkill or not. Some people might think it is. Let's see, that female. What did he say she was? There's the document. She's a het ultramel, het motley, het hypo, het anery. From an ultramel motley tessera het anery to a ghost tessera. So a lot of interesting stuff there.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that I'll be getting more stuff from Chris too, you know, because Chris is just, he's got some awesome stuff in the works in the pipeline too. So
yeah, he's got, I'm gonna get, I might add, he's got some Pituophis that I still need to add, and a couple rat snakes.
Yeah.
Chris is the man. Like I said, I'm Chris's biggest fangirl.
Yeah, and you know what else would be interesting too? So some of those North Carolina like mountain locality sort of corns that have that grayish background with the, you know, the sort of lighter oak brown saddles.
Yeah.
What I thought would be interesting is to tie that into some of those sort of classic Miami looking animals that have that same grayish background, but it's that deeper maroon. Because I find it interesting that like they're so far apart, but there is, you know, some similarity in the color palette. And so I'm interested to see what happens if you put those together. So that may be something I do too at some point. I don't know when that's going to be. That may not be next year, but that's something that's on my radar.
Yeah.
You know, after having the Nido and crypto talk the other night on Snakes and Stogies, I'm definitely much more apt to go for babies, which I kind of always have been.
Yeah.
But even more so now, knowing that that's kind of one of the safer routes to go in terms of bringing new stuff in. So that's kind of going to be the plan. It's just one of those things where you got to have the what's up, Eric? Podfather. It's gonna be one of those things where you kind of have to have be looking long range, down the way. You got to have the long range vision on things and just wait. But it seems like with corns, it doesn't feel as bad because they grow so quick and it feels like you almost blink in their adult sizes. I feel like with chondros, it's like, crazy. Do you grow at all?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I actually fed everything before I came over here. For one, that's been the biggest thing to get used to with colubrids is remembering to feed them more often.
I don't even think you really need to, though,
dude.
man.
I'm on a carpet schedule, man. They can't have that carpet schedule.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I've had, because some of the corns I have, so that Shell Point female and that Ladies Island female, like they're pretty chunky. Like they could.
Yeah, I think as adults, as adults, it's different. I think once they're established, they're adults. Like I think colubrids can get fat very easily, and I don't think they need as big as meals so often as they think, as some people think. Personally, my colubrids, I don't plan on once they hit adult size. I plan to give them like the same like amount of food, like that once a week type of deal or 10 days, but it's going to be small meals. I don't know. If even that, but it's going to be smaller stuff. These things don't need medium rats. That's too much.
But even those babies, those Ladies Island babies, man, like I look at them now and I'm like, they're freaking big, considering that they were just hatched in August. Like I opened the tub and I'm like, oh my god, like you're gonna have to get bumped up soon. Like this is crazy. Yeah. And maybe I don't, like I said, maybe it's just I'm not used to, like I'm used to the chondro thing where things just kind of take their time, and that's another thing I'm super excited for is that chondro from Luke. Yeah. Have you seen some of the other, like David and one or two of Luke's holdbacks are like freaking black already, dude. Jeez. See if I can find it.
You're getting one from him?
I have one from him.
Oh, you have one?
But mine hasn't even come anywhere close to that.
It's that size?
Yeah. Wow. That's a clutch mate.
Jeez. Oh.
And mine isn't getting any of that yet, but I think it's going into a shed cycle, so it's going to be interesting to see if it does. Mm-hmm. And then the one that David has is, I think, even darker than that. See if I can find it. Yeah. Jeez. Like it's wild, man. So I don't know. And it's kind of funny that that's the case because one of the other, two of the ones I got from his very first clutch, one of them held onto that yellow way longer than the other one. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if this one's going to be sort of a late changer. It's yet to be seen. So, Vartec, what? I don't know what that is. Yeah, that's going to be cool. That's going to be sweet because that's got some of the herby crazy train blood in it, which is going to be really fun to play with down the line. I'm still sort of trying to decide the route I want to go with chondros next year if I do end up breeding. That's another one where I get so tempted to just put Biak in everything just to see what happens. just to see what happens. I have that red male that's, he's should be primed and ready to go by the time they're ready. Well, I mean, he's probably primed now, but by then for sure, I think he'll be looking for chickies.
Man, I remember when you had him in that little Exotera back in the day. Is that one right?
I think that might have been a different one. Because I think this one I raised up in a tub. That one you're thinking of, I got that at a Columbia show.
You had two of them when I first met you. You had two chondros and exos, and one of them died.
Okay, then.
So I thought it was the other one.
Maybe it is. It must be because he's the only other red neonate that I had. So yeah, I don't know. Crazy, even that one has recently hit a growth spurt. It seems with chondros that once they hit they get to that 2.5, maybe 3-year-old mark. And I don't know if it's females or if it's just males because I've only seen it in males. But like they hit this spurt where like in a month it seems like they almost double in size.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed that with Popwins, but like they almost hit sexual maturity and then they just freaking explode. And then they just kind of coast from there. Because I remember opening the tub a couple weeks ago and thinking like, when did you get that big?
Yeah.
I look at you every day, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I have been tempted to pair the Cyanea up again. I was going to the other night.
Even with all the drama going on with that bullshit,
I figured.
I didn't even know you still had the Cyanea.
I still have my Cyanea.
I thought you got rid of
They're
those.
going to Terry, but Terry, I'm waiting on Terry has to finish building his building before we can go up there. So I'm not in a hurry. I think he's saying it'll, it keeps kind of getting pushed back. He's a busy guy, so it is what it is.
Materials are very expensive right now.
I figured like I could pair them, and by the time that like Terry's ready to go, she'll be good, like have laid, But then I was gonna do it the other night, but then I thought about it, and I don't know if I'm going to or not, because then like that on top of what I'm gonna pair, and when you're dealing with pickier feeders like that, am I going to be overwhelming myself?
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing. Space is going to be a thing. I don't want to be in a hurry to have to sell Cyanea babies to make room for other stuff. I'm still trying to decide exactly what I want to pair. Like if I want to do the thorn scrubs, the bimaculata, I'm going to give a shot. The Diones, I'm going to give a shot. The Diones, I think, will produce no problem. I'm not terribly worried about that. But those on top of, the 2 pairs of corn snakes, 2 pairs of Bairds, like that's a lot. And I guess kind of the saving grace with the Bairds is they do have smaller clutches, like bigger eggs, smaller clutches compared to the corns, which are going to have bigger clutches of smaller eggs. So
yeah,
I don't know. Should I pair this with thorn scrubs? Guide me.
Do it.
I don't see her producing a very big clutch either.
I mean, worst case, dude, like if you produce like too much,
you just give them to me, man.
No, like I mean, I could take like a rack or something, like if you just didn't have space in your room, because I'm probably gonna have a lot of space here soon. So if you produce too many babies, you need to house them with me. I could do that probably, but don't assume.
That's another thing on the docket for next year is getting some more black box stuff.
Oh yeah, dude, I have a lot of.
That's gotta happen.
A lot of stuff I want to do with that. I need another XR16. I need another V70. I need some cages.
The Aggies are gonna need an upgrade. The female's growing like a freaking weed. The male's growing too, but man, that little girl, she's like almost double what she was when I got her.
Really?
Yeah. And they're funny little animals, man. Like before, I would hold my hand at the opening of the cage and I would have the tongs and have them come out onto my hand to eat. They very quickly figured that trick out. And now they'll come to the edge and they'll see my hand. They'll be like, no. And they'll turn around and go. Oh,
I thought you were going to say they immediately jump onto your hand to get food.
No. Dude, they go the other direction. Even the male now, he's like, before he wouldn't really seem to care, but now he's like, nah.
That's odd. I thought they would have warmed up to it. Like, oh, his hand means food. Like,
they're still small, and I haven't fed them by hand because I know they're gonna grab me instead of the actual food.
Well, no, but I mean, like getting them onto your hand and tongue feeding them. Like, I thought they would have, caught on to that being. They did catch on. Just
they're figuring it out
the wrong way.
I don't know. It's just taking some time. I think they're still small, so I'm not too worried about it over time. As they get bigger, I think they'll get more confident. They'll get more comfortable, and they'll do it. They're still going strong now. They're still fun. It's gonna be fun to get a cage together for them and build it and have all the cool stuff and eventually maybe get eggs, and little baby Aggies again, which will be nice because I'll have that set up still, and I'll, if I have babies, I could just set them up in that. That thing can house a handful of them, I'm sure, no problem.
Oh yeah, no.
Because they come out, you forget how small they are when they come out, man.
I mean, they're not big lizards, though.
They're not, but it always seems like it's kind of hard to gauge from pictures and video just how big they are, or how small they are, rather. Like in my mind, they're bigger than they actually are as adults. It's one of those things where you kind of have to see it firsthand to really grasp the reality of it.
I would like a comparison to a bearded dragon. Like, I don't know I don't think I've ever seen an adult Ackie. Is it about the size of a beardy, or
body wise? I think they're about the same. It's just a lot
longer.
more tail.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's kind of what I was envisioning.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I forgot about it.
Christian Parr. But I don't know. Inlands would be nice too. I don't know if those will happen next year. I'm really not in any hurry with those.
Yeah, you haven't talked about inlands in a while.
Pretty much where I'm at is I need to get black box stuff because I can't really expand into anything else until that happens. And then, I mean, there was the wife and I talked about getting a shed. I don't know if that's going to happen next year. I'm not banking on it, but who knows? If I happen to win in one of the scratch offs that I buy, maybe get the little dollar scratch offs. Christian needs diamonds. I would like to have diamonds, but I just like with the bamboo rats and stuff too. I can't keep them cool enough. Yeah. Like there's nowhere unless I put them somewhere openly in the house where the cat can get to things, and they're not matching the rest of the decor in the house, so the wife sees them. I can't keep them in my room. It's like it's just too warm. Like I feel bad for the friggin' rhinos, as warm as it is now in there with the Ackie cage. It's crazy. Yeah, there's stuff that I literally like. It doesn't work with my room, so
it's good that you can acknowledge that, though.
Like I don't want to have to keep things in my closet. I don't want to have to keep things in my bedroom. I want it all to be contained. I still got to talk to Reed about those damn beateds.
Are you still supposed to get beated?
I don't know.
That was like
that would
before I left, dude.
That would be cool, but they would pretty much have to go in here. And my original idea was to have like a backdrop, like a bigger cage with them in it. Like something like what the male Brettles was in, but taller and a little deeper. Because they do climb a little more. Like they are a little more, I won't say arboreal, but they do.
But they need over a 4-foot tall cage?
I'd want them to have, I'd like to have them something bigger to where they'll use it.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying like height wise. I wouldn't think you would need anything taller than what the Brettles was in. That thing was almost 5 feet
either
tall.
That or put them on something so that you can see them.
Oh, well, yeah.
Roaming and doing their thing. I need to call Reed. I haven't talked to Reed in a long time. He's a busy guy too, so we need to go up there. That needs to happen. He keeps saying we need to go up there and hang out with him, and I keep saying we do, and then it doesn't. So
tell me when, man.
That would be a fun little trip.
I'm always down for a road trip, Smitty.
And we need to go to the Serpentarium.
Yeah, they're closed though, I think.
When they open back up.
Yeah.
See if we can maybe get like a tour, a behind the scenes tour.
What makes you think we'll be able to get it behind the scenes?
I don't know.
Because we have a podcast.
Yeah.
You just go walk up, be like, "Hello, I'm Justin Smith or Better Culture
Don't you know who I am? You don't recognize me. You don't recognize my face.
Don't you know my voice?"
We could just get Phil to do it. Anybody would do anything for Phil if you asked him.
Dude, Phil, all Phil would have to do is give him that little smirk and a little bat of the eyes. Phil would have him there. Phil's just got to ask politely, give him his look.
He said it's too soon to be able to do his night before Christmas thing again. So he's like, do you have any ideas? I was like, dude, dress up like the Grinch and get your wiener dog dressed up with little antlers like the Grinch's dog was. It's perfect.
That'd be hilarious.
And do a reading of that. paint yourself green. But I don't think he was down for it. So he's on his own.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything else. Yeah. My pod decks really crashed and burned. Thanks.
Why? How was it my fault? I tried.
I asked you questions and you.
I did. I answered all of them. I mean, there was one I didn't answer very well. But Jesus. I tried.
Anyways, thank you all for 2021. It was a good year.
Thank y'all for like 3/4 of 2021. Thank you for having me for 3/4 of 2021. The best. I love you.
We will see everyone next month.
See you next year.
See you next year. Be a nice break. And I know we're really leaving on a high note with this one. And that is sarcasm. The NPR show is full of people and life. And then there's this.
Well, that was a depressing way to put it.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
You're welcome for this really rough episode.
I didn't think it was that bad, but when you put it like that,
I don't know.
Jesus.
You didn't even finish the cigar.
No, I did. I smoked most of it. I didn't think it was that bad. Jesus. You just talked about it here in the rear. You're the one that had to pull out the deck of cards.
I thought it was cool.
Fuck.
I'd been eyeballing them for a while, and I finally said I was going to do it. So, we'll use those. There's other ones that have good questions for like guests and stuff. We'll break that out at a later date, and maybe brats won't ruin it.
Maybe maybe that could be a thing for the new year. Every guest we have on, we have to ask them a series of questions out of the deck.
I may have to just go through and delete that whole section. I don't know. I'm not gonna. We don't do that here. You get what you get.
Yeah.
It's as is.
Yeah. Take it or leave it.
I'd leave it personally.
Dude, we've had a long couple months, so
yeah. So Snakes and Stogies will be back. We'll be back. Cornstarch will be back. There is going to be one more episode of Lizard Brain Radio 10 days from now on the 26th. So that will be there. That will be live. Other than that, thank you. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year.
All that good jazz.
All that good stuff.
Thank you to everybody that tuned in for the live. Thank you to everybody who lasted to the end. Y'all are the real ones.
Sorry. Have a good night.
Good night.